The headlines flash: Chinese Coast Guard blasts Philippine ship, US warns Beijing, tensions skyrocket in West Philippine Sea. These aren't just headlines, they're the drumbeats of a growing crisis in one of the world's most vital waterways. Picture it. Under the blazing sun, a small Philippine supply boat carries food and water to soldiers on a remote outpost. Suddenly, a massive Chinese Coast Guard ship appears, dwarfing the Philippine vessel. The air crackles with tension. This is the new reality in the West Philippine Sea. The South China Sea is a superhighway for global trade, rich in resources, and claimed by many. But China asserts control over nearly all of it. This claim ignores international law and the rights of its neighbors. Now, China uses its growing power to enforce its will, creating a dangerous flashpoint. What were once minor disputes have become high-stakes confrontations. Chinese vessels regularly harass Philippine ships, blocking paths and intimidating crews. Filipino sailors and fishermen face constant threats, but their resolve remains unshaken. This is more than a territorial dispute. It's a test of the international order. Will the world uphold rules and laws, or let might make right? The events here challenge freedom of navigation and threaten global stability. The headlines are a wake-up call. A rising power is challenging the status quo, and smaller nations are pushing back. The world is watching, and the consequences will reach far beyond these waters. The stakes could not be higher. U.S. Navy Admiral John C. Aquilino, commander of Indo-Pacific Command, sees the threat clearly. He warns, China is undertaking the largest military buildup since World War II at breathtaking speed. This isn't just about more ships or planes. It's about reshaping the region's balance of power. China's navy is now the world's largest, with advanced missiles, stealth fighters, and a growing space program. But this buildup happens in the shadows, without transparency. China claims it wants peace, but its actions tell a different story. Intimidation, unlawful claims, and pushing the US and its allies out. Admiral Aquilino's message is blunt. China aims to displace the US as the leading power in the Indo-Pacific, and it's happening now. The pressure on the Philippines is just one part of a larger strategy. If China can force a US ally to bend, it will push further. The Admiral's warning in action is not an option. At the core is China's disregard for international law. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled against China's claims in the South China Sea. China ignored the ruling, calling it waste paper. This rejection of law destabilizes the region. The US and its allies don't seek conflict. They seek to uphold the principles that have kept the peace for decades. The stakes are clear. Uphold the rules or risk a new era of unchecked aggression. The world must respond. The time to act is now. The future of the Indo-Pacific hangs in the balance. China's campaign in the West Philippine Sea is neither war nor peace. It's the gray zone. These are aggressive actions just below the threshold of war, designed to change facts at sea without triggering a military response. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia, civilian-looking ships as large as warships, to intimidate the Philippines. Imagine hundreds of fishing boats swarming a reef, not to fish but to assert control. They anchor for weeks inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, blocking Filipino fishermen and patrols. This overwhelming presence is meant to wear down resistance and normalize China's control. Military analysts call it the cabbage strategy. Layers of ships surround contested areas, making response difficult. If the Philippines uses its navy, it risks escalation. The psychological impact is huge. Filipino sailors face daily harassment, dangerous maneuvers, and near collisions. The message from Beijing: this sea is ours, you can't stop us. But the Philippines refuses to back down. Despite relentless pressure, Filipino crews continue their missions with courage and resolve. China's gray zone tactics are calculated to win without fighting a conventional war. The struggle is constant, but so is the Filipino spirit. The world must recognize this campaign for what it is: a slow-motion attempt to rewrite the rules. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is far from over. Tensions boiled over when the Philippine supply boat Uniza May 4 approached the BRP Sierra Madre at 2nd Thomas Shoal. The Chinese Coast Guard unleashed powerful water cannons, shattering windows and injuring crew. The attack forced the Philippine vessel to turn back, an unmistakable act of aggression. The BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded warship, stands as a symbol of Philippine sovereignty. China wants it gone, hoping to starve out the Marine stationed there. Each violent incident risks deadly miscalculation, a sunken ship, a lost life, a wider conflict. The world saw the battered Unaiza May 4 and its injured crew. The message was clear. China is willing to use force to assert its claims. The stakes are rising, and the danger is real. In response to China's aggression, the United States has made its position clear. Its commitment to the Philippines is ironclad. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty means the U.S. will defend the Philippines if attacked. Any armed attack on Philippine forces or vessels in the South China Sea will trigger U.S. defense commitments. This removes any ambiguity. China knows the risks of escalation. The U.S. backs its words with action, more joint military exercises, more freedom of navigation patrols, and a visible presence in the region. These drills, called Balikatan, prepare both nations to defend Philippine territory. U.S. Navy ships regularly challenge China's claims by sailing through international waters. The goal: deterrence. Make the costs of aggression clear to Beijing. The U.S. doesn't want war, but it won't let an ally be bullied. The message to Manila: we have your back. The message to Beijing: think twice. The peace and stability of the Indo-Pacific depend on these commitments being heard and respected. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The U.S.-Philippine alliance is stronger than ever. This partnership is a bulwark against coercion. The region's future may hinge on this ironclad promise. The line has been drawn. The next move is China's. The crisis in the West Philippine Sea has drawn global attention. Countries like Australia, Japan, the UK, Canada, and the EU have condemned China's actions. Australia and Japan, key U.S. allies, are strengthening defense ties with the Philippines, providing patrol vessels and conducting joint patrols. European powers are sending naval ships to the Indo-Pacific, signaling that freedom of navigation is a global concern. The EU has called on China to comply with international law and stop its coercive activities. This growing coalition shows China it cannot act with impunity. By uniting, the Philippines and its partners are changing the dynamic. This is no longer a one-on-one contest. The message: the rules of the sea apply to all, including China. The world's chorus of concern is growing louder. The Philippines has responded to China's pressure with diplomatic protests and unwavering resolve. Hundreds of formal protests have been filed, documenting every violation. President Marcos Jr. has declared not a single inch of territory will be surrendered. The Philippines is strengthening alliances and rallying international support. Damaged vessels and released footage expose China's aggression to the world. Filipino sailors continue their missions, undeterred by danger. This defiance sends a clear message: the Philippines will not be intimidated or abandon its territory. Courage, diplomacy, and transparency form the core of the Philippine response. In a historic first, the defense ministers of the US, Japan, Australia, and the Philippines met to forge a united front. Their joint statement condemned China's actions and reaffirmed commitment to the rule of law. Plans were made for more joint military exercises and combined patrols in the West Philippine Sea. The goal: seamless cooperation in any crisis. The US, Japan, and Australia pledged to help modernize the Philippine military with new equipment and training. This partnership isn't about building a powerhouse, but ensuring the Philippines isn't left defenseless. The unity of these four nations is a powerful new factor for peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. China's aggression is forging stronger alliances, not division. The West Philippine Sea is a test of the global order. The fight isn't just over reefs. It's about whether all nations must follow the same rules. International law, especially UNCLOS, was created to prevent conflict at sea. China's rejection of these rules threatens to return the world to might makes right. Upholding the rules-based order requires unity and action. Partnerships, joint patrols, intelligence sharing, coordinated diplomacy are the best defense against coercion. Peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific are vital for the global economy. Any conflict here would have worldwide consequences. Ensuring peace is a global imperative. The world must insist on peaceful resolution and respect for law. Filipino sailors are on the front line, but they are not alone. The outcome here will shape the 21st century for us all.